You muted. No, you froze. Second time around. See, you froze again.
Second time around with Smokey and Tammy.
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Smokey.
And welcome to Second Time Around 7. I would like to start this show off to say thank you to all who have looked at our videos and our podcasts on all our different social media platforms. And thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to those videos. We really appreciate it. We love you. And once again, thank you.
And to our new friends that we found our podcast on the Apple Play Store, we thank you too. Welcome aboard, Apple friends.
Hashtag Team Android.
Good.
So today we're going to have a health topic discussion, conversation. And when we ended our podcast last week, we said it won't focus just on COVID, but we will start the conversation with COVID. Mm-hmm. So Smokey, you got your first COVID vaccine shot a week and a half ago. Can you tell us about it?
Sure. It started off. No, I got the I got the Moderna vaccine. And when I received the Moderna vaccine, before I received it, I heard people have side effects, and then some people don't have side effects. I was one of those individuals that had a side effect of it. After I received the vaccine the first day, I just had tenderness in my shoulder. I got the vaccine in my left shoulder, so I just had tenderness there. Then, like the next day, about 10 a.m., it was just like all of a sudden, I was real cold. I had to put on 2 sweaters. I put on the electric blanket. I put on a hat. I put on 2 pair of socks. I mean, that's just the effects that I felt from it after the first day. But after that first day, I haven't had any effects since then.
So you had low grade, well, I say low grade fever, 100.
Right, 100.
Chills.
Right.
And body aches.
And tiredness.
Fatigue.
I was lethargic, yes.
Fatigue.
I was, okay. I was fatigued.
Okay. And you said you got it in your left arm, but I told you to get it in your right arm.
This is true. You did tell me get it into my right arm. Mm-hmm. But when they came around, I was waiting so long. I was waiting like 3, no lie. I was waiting like 3 hours. Was it 2 hours?
We were probably there about 2 hours.
I was in there like 2.5 hours. I was waiting to get this stupid vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Get the vaccine.
Getting this vaccine. And after the 2-hour period, I went in there, I sat down, and I had every intention to say, can you give it to me in my right arm? She said, well, you want the vaccine? I said, just give it to me. And she stuck me in my left arm, and I've been paying for it because the left arm was harder to move, and I had to work extra to do it, whereas I'm right hand dominant. And you told me to get it in my right arm because my right arm would be moving more so, and it'll be easier to work off the tenderness of the shot. So I said all that to say this. Gentlemen, if you have someone that works in the medical field, like Dr. Tammy, and they're giving you advice, I would heed that advice because it's good. It's good advice.
Thank you. And so that's going to conclude the COVID part of the conversation. I know we've been hearing about the pandemic this last year, and you're ready to hear something different. So focusing on healthcare. If you know me personally, then you know I'm a diabetic and I use insulin. And the way I get my insulin is through an insulin pump. So recently I've been trying to refill my insulin pump supplies, and I've come across some issues with getting the order filled. And one of the representatives I spoke with said that it's because I hadn't seen my physician in almost a year, that to maintain pump supplies, you have to see your physician every 6 months. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I wasn't thinking about making any other follow-up visits, my routine visits. I only contacted my physicians if I was having a problem.
Mhm.
Well, now I have a problem. And so I've scheduled my visit. He's signed all the orders and the paperwork, but there's still something holding up my supplies. And so while we work with the insurance companies to get the prior authorization, I think it's still being held up because I still need to make that office visit. So I've scheduled my visit with Dr. Daniel Gauzy, love you, with him in a couple of weeks. And so in the meantime, he's been working with me and helping me obtain insulin supplies the old fashioned way, having to use a pen. I'm not going to do the syringe, but the pen I can tolerate. And so he's been assisting me with that until I can get my pump supplies. But it also got me thinking about our primary care appointments. And so Smokey, I made him schedule a physical exam with his primary. I'm like, you ain't seen a doctor in a couple of years. What we say? It said 2019 and here we are 2021.
Right.
So I convinced him to go ahead, schedule an appointment with his primary, get a physical. I did my physical last year. And so we're on point with that now. Now it's following up with our specialty care and making sure that we see our specialists so that our prescriptions can remain current and we can continue a nice, comfortable life. But I want to remind you guys to also schedule your appointments with your mental health providers. If you have a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor or group meeting, go ahead. Find, if it's not on the Zoom platform, see if you can find it in person. If not, I think Smokey told me earlier that there are some online groups, correct?
Right. That's absolutely correct. Because of the COVID-19, since this is not just another COVID conversation, the group sessions were held off because of the 6 feet guidance. So they weren't holding groups as often as they were before. But now things are opening back up, and they have secure Zooms and other platforms where they hold meetings. What's the other one? Anyway, they are available for you to use. I'm not promoting nobody else.
Oh, okay, I got you. I know what you're talking about now.
Right.
All right. And so apart from making your routine scheduled medical appointments, don't forget about the screenings that are recommended for certain age groups. So if like you're 40 and over women, you can go and get your mammograms scheduled. They are the facilities are performing mammograms. If you're 45 and older, schedule your colonoscopy. Had my colonoscopy this January. It was a good nap.
And that's actually a great segue for men as well, because I need you to go and get your colonoscopy as well. I need you to get your prostate checked. And the reason I need you to get your prostate checked, because I have several friends in the late 40, early 60 age range that are saying, man, this trickle is a beast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They say that the trickle, when they urine, it comes out
when they urinate.
It comes out as a trickle as opposed to a flow. And that can be because the prostate is enlarged. And having your blood work checked, having, like I said, a colonoscopy, these things can alleviate some of those ailments. And that can only be done if you go and see your primary physician, because they can't even fill a script if it's been too long to provide you medication that you may need. If you have ADHD, it doesn't matter. They can't refill your script until they see you. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, it doesn't matter. They can't fill your script until they see you. If you have Sjogren's, or even if you have cancer, it doesn't matter. They can't fill your script unless they see you.
Well, I hope that if you're suffering from a debilitating disease such as cancer, that you're seeing your doctor on a more regular basis.
And no, I'm not equating cancer to any of the previous ones that I said, but they're all a disease that requires a doctor's care. And my point to you that I'm trying to make is, please go see your doctor.
Right. And it's not just about you, it's about your children too.
Wow.
Okay. I just received a reminder message that our youngest has a dental appointment at the end of the month. Thank God that was pre-planned because I would have forgotten to schedule that.
Right.
And because I did forget to schedule his annual physical. And so I'll be working on that real soon because I don't want to be bombarded in the summer with all the other parents trying to schedule their child's annual physical before the school year begins. Otherwise, the building won't let them in.
And that's good because if you think about it, if you try to get a doctor's appointment right now, you're probably going to have to wait about 2 or 3 months because everybody's starting to come back out into population and into circulation, and doctors are starting to get booked up and backed up again. So it might be 2 or 3 months before you get to see them. And if your script has expired,
yeah. So, and be prepared because spring break is coming up. People will be taking time off. I'm in a leadership role and I got my time off requests coming in, and I want to make sure that we have enough coverage. So be careful and be mindful about when you're scheduling your appointments. Don't wait to the last minute. All right. So that's it for today's podcast. As we shared on our last podcast, we'll be celebrating our wedding anniversary on March 12th. 11 years going on 31.
Right. Good.
And so next week we'll be happy to share videos and pictures of our anniversary shenanigans, and we'll see what happens, and then our return podcast will focus on self-care and couples care and what you do to help take care of yourself individually and what you do as a couple to help keep the relationship fresh.
And is there a difference between self-care and couples care? Yes. And yes, there is a difference, but we'll talk about that.
All right. Well, that's all I got, Smokey. What about you?
Well, Miss Tammy, in this episode 3, I'm going to leave you with a kiss.
Thank you.
All right. I'm Smokey.
And I'm Tammy.
And we are off the air. Thank you, friends.
You muted. No, you froze. Second time around. See, you froze again.
Second time around with Smokey and Tammy.
Yeah!